Hello, future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce. Welcome to my newer setup with a new desk. Today we're going to be having a look at Horrors of the Deep. This is a campaign setting for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons that, honestly, I'm liking what I see. So, Horrors of the Deep is a campaign setting for D&D. It specifically says 5th edition, but depending on when you're viewing this, if D&D 2024 has come out before you saw this video, which is not due out for a few months at the time of recording, that is backwards compatible. So this should still work with that without any issues at all. This is by Erts Treehouse. This is a team that actually reached out to us and asked if we were interested. And honestly, I haven't really looked at a campaign setting since I did Household almost 12 months ago. Someone that plays D&D quite regularly, it's something I have a real passion for, but we don't cover it as much on the channel because we tend to look at miniatures and stuff. We're going to do a complete run through of the actual book. I'm not going to read page by page. We're going to skim through. I'm going to point out some of the things that jump out at me. We do have a selection of the miniatures that's available for the set as well. This is available as both a digital product as well as a physical book. I will be looking at the digital product here today. There's some really nice artwork in this. This was originally done through a Kickstarter. So you can see the original Kickstarter here. The actual page is laid out really nicely, gives you a bit of a tease of some of the artwork that's going to be seen there. It's been delivered and everything at this point, and is now just purely available as a product. Here you see just an example of the hardback copy. It's actually nice and affordable. This is a 150-page book. This is not some small little piddly thing. This is actually a decent-sized book. Let's jump in. We'll have a look, and then we'll have a bit of a tease of some of the minis. So I'm going to be going through this for the first time with you guys, just like I would do if I was opening a miniature box or anything like that. First thing that jumps out at me is that I do really love this artwork. It is really gorgeous, honestly. The upside-down tentacle head kind of reaching up for the surface to pull somebody under. The creepy yellow eyes. Obviously, Erts Treehouse is the name of the actual thing. I do like the little logo down here. It's kind of fun. I mean, it feels very hand drawn because obviously it is. But I also kind of like the fact that they've kind of stuck with fonts. When it comes to books, your font choice is very important. And they've very clearly gone for stuff that feels like it belongs in that 5e wheelhouse. Not all of the third parties do. First look at our background here. Kind of looks like somebody spilt stuff on it. It feels worn. It kind of feels like somebody's started to tea weather it, which is kind of, again, it's kind of what you want from these sort of things. Horrors of the Deep Campaign Setting Guide. A dark fantasy campaign setting themed all around nautical horrors and ocean exploration for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Obviously, take time to read through that. Obviously, we've got lead designers. I really love it when people are giving credit, and it shouldn't be such a big deal, but when you deal with companies that don't do this sort of stuff on a regular basis, it tends to stick out to you. This is the sort of stuff that I suspect that a lot of people don't really notice. But when you know people that work as artists, it is the sort of thing that you start paying attention to. Because it's just impossible not to. I do really love this goblin here too. Or at least that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it a goblin. Contents page. Again, nice, lovely laid out. Oh, I just realised. Not all of these pages are the same. There's actually a couple of different designs. Ooh. Okay, the software that is used for the art is really nice. I say software because in the credits, it actually says Ink Compass Maps was used for the cartography. That's really cool. Coreg, Pirate Cove, Greythorn Hope, Rums of Lomberg. Really, again, I love the font choices. It works really well, especially for a fantasy setting. Really, really cool. And obviously, because it's a map, they put more detail into the weathering of everything. It's been done really well. Ooh. Nice layout again. The blue really stands out. Like, massively stands out. It's right up in your face, that lovely the lovely aqua blue. So you make heading for the Islands of Ashantiir. Best make peace with any qualms you have, for those waters are treacherous. Whether in fame or fortune, all you will find is death. Let this be a warning. Even the most seasoned captain struggles against the high winds. But that is not the real danger on the waters. The real danger is what lies below. The horrors of the deep. So I'm not going to be going through all of this. I will be editing this as I'm going through. However, I will be making the unedited version of this video available to our Patreon for anybody that would like to see the whole thing. People of Ashantiir, the inhabitants. There's a variety of races in the Ashantiir, mostly due to the high numbers of immigrants. The majority of people here were not born on the islands. Humans are the most common race and are most prevalent on St. Esna, whilst other races are treated near equally, for each suffer a similar fate. There are a few aquatic beings amongst the population who stick to the land despite the realm being 80% water. This is due to the known dangers of the deep. Whilst many consider it advantageous to remain in the water for certain reasons, some believe it to be a death sentence. And the Druknai, the people of old, hundreds of years ago, the inhabitants of Ashantiir included a group of elders who had evolved over time to become more comfortably accustomed to living with the water surrounding them, with bodies warped and mutated. To adapt, they migrated to the floor of the ocean. Their now almost crab-like bodies keep them safe in numbers amongst the underwater community. These people are referred to as the Druknai. They keep themselves and do not want any part of the problems on the surface and beyond. Sightings of any Druknai are rare, and it is difficult to tell whether they are docile or hostile. Lovely piece of artwork again. Giant octopus actually threatening the dragon is a really nice touch. Like, if you want to sell the horrors of the deep, what better way to do that than to make it clear that they're taking on a dragon, the thing that the game is known for. That's really cool. Ashantiir beliefs. Now, this is something that's really, really important if you're making a setting of your own. You have to be able to set things out and give a reason for this to exist. Because if you don't do this, people may as well be playing in a regular campaign, right? Magic. It's bound by the infernal storm which prevents all within from leaving. All occupants are trapped and isolated from all other planes of the world. No spell, not even a wish, allows one to escape from the island of Ashantiir. Astral projection, teleport, plane shift, and similar spells cast for the purpose of leaving Ashantiir simply fail while the storm is in effect. This also includes spells which banish a creature to another plane of existence. Once you're there, you're stuck there. Again, it gives you a reason to actually... It gives you something to actually work towards. It gives you a hint of something that you can work towards while the storm is raging. Okay, how do we get the storm down? I like the fact that we're getting different styles of art too. That's kind of nice. Regions. Oh, we got cannibals. Island mutations. So a little bit of a write-up for each of the main landmarks, which is good and important, obviously. A little bit more of a write-up about the gods that we'd just been reading about earlier. Like a real decent write-up about them too. So Syros has almost an entire page just to themselves. Terragar is the same. I really do like that logo, actually. That's a really cool logo. A spreading hunger. Again, really bold, bright, something that sticks out. Nice, creepy looking forest. Plantations. Somebody that feels like they believe that they're above everything else. Ooh. Oh, I like that. They have really fleshed this out. Because they need to, obviously. Like, this is not just the Forgotten Islands. This is not just something that they've taken from D&D and thrown their own campaign into. They have created an entire section of the world for themselves. So they have to put a lot of lore into this. Oh! Crosses off the cliffs. One of the most feared punishments is execution by the crosses. The punishment is feared by all on the island, and its reputation helps keep them all in order. The crosses is a punishment given to those who explicitly defy the pirate lord. These people are outlawed and are given back to the sea as an offering. This offering is said to bring peace and calm the waters. Really, really, really nice. We're about a third of the way through at this stage. Like, seriously, we're only 1/3 of the way through. Yeah, I like this guy. Renowned vessels. Ooh, I like that one. That's really nice and pretty. I mean, this kind of feels like it's really important, right? Because this is a place where, like, this is, like, the water is what we're here for. So, yes, of course you're going to have some important ships. Ghost ship. You've got to have a ghost ship. Player options. Nothing really stands out to me as stupidly broken or stupidly expensive. This all feels rather reasonable, honestly. I like the fact that we've actually given thought to the ammunition and stuff as well, because you should be. I realised, in saying that, I also realised that a lot of people just don't bother about this side of the game, because for some people this is just annoying, but you need to have it there for those that do take it into consideration. Drowned Soul Sorcerer subclass. The expansive ocean is an extremely powerful source of life in the world, and in your case, power. You have an affinity with the water, deep-rooted in your very soul. Perhaps your mortal form drowned in a raging storm while voyaging, or possibly a distant ancestor was a lord of the merfolk in the dark depths. Maybe the sea god, Cyrus herself, blessed your bloodline to protect and serve the oceans. Your very being belongs with the sea. When separated from it, there is an ever-present emptiness in your heart. From wherever your abilities are sourced, they give you an innate control of the ocean. With all of its swells and surges, you have the capacity to guide ships safely. I really love the sound of this. I love the, not only like you're drawing your power from the ocean, but you're feeling like something's missing when you're not there. Like, it kind of just, you hear this all the time in pirate stories, right? Where they don't like being on the land because they feel like they're missing out on something. And this just takes that to a real fantasy level. An Astronomer Ranger subclass. These rangers have dedicated their time to learning how to harness the power of the night sky. Using the stars to navigate can be a very powerful tool on the open waters. With no landmarks to use as waypoints, sailors must rely on those with power to read the markers in the night sky. Known as astronomers, these rangers have an ability which grants them a renown in the realms of Ashantiir. Ashantiir. Ashantiir? Ashantiir. Ashantiir. Moonlight's touch. Nice. So we've got two very strong sounding classes here. The Druknai race. Life of the Druknai. So they're devoted to the sea, they're devout followers of Syros. They are raised with knowledge of Syros and her might and judgment over the sea. As long as they reside in her domain, they must learn to respect her. Druknai often leave offerings and sacrifices in shrines. Nice, I want a picture of them. Oh, there we go. Grab people, grab people. Running a ship. Now, that's something that's going to be very important. Actually touching on how the ship is run and everything. Because, believe it or not everybody has this information. Alright, let's have a browse through. Navigation's obviously important. Far more important than most modern people realise, obviously, because there's no GPS, there's no none of that. Roles on a ship. So the captain and the quartermaster. Exploring the depths. Yep, obviously, because, if you're going into the depths, you need to be able to explain how you get there. Ooh, and straight into... that is really cool. Alright, here we go. So, encounters, we have an animated diver's suit. So we actually have a miniature that we're going to look up later that will show us this. The giant octopus, the Druknai obviously grabs fake kelp. We actually have those in miniature form as well. Mercubus. So it's a succubus, but it's a mercubus. Yep, I like that. Sea hags. Again, yep, makes sense. Sea spiders. Swarm of electric eels. Whale carcass. Lying motionless in the ocean bed are the remains of a large beast. This once beautiful creature lies dead, with a large chunk missing from its exterior. Smaller fish swarm around, taking small bites. This whale carcass is bound to attract other predators. Oh, okay. So it draws predators. Yep. Saber of Devote. Ooh, that is nice. That is really cool. Dragon's Eye Patch. Runed Pepper Box. Oh, this is cool. So it's a gun of many things, essentially. Mask of Submerging. Fisherman's Bowl. Extraordinary glass bowl is filled with water and has a number of small fish inside. The glass bowl has a golden cap and has a leather strap bound on it, so the fish inside appear to be magically small versions of real fish. Their small ecosystem is like a snow globe, where they swim and live their lives. The bowl weighs half a pound. Use an action to pull a fish from the bowl and throw it up to 20 feet. When the fish lands in the water, it expands to full-size creature that you determine by rolling a d8. Oh my lord, this is awesome. The Gambler is a powerful yet unknown entity who feeds from the energy of chaos and chance. He binds hopeless victims into contracts of fate, creating chaos on the mortal plane. The Gambler has been described as a dark, shadowy figure, preying on those who are desperate enough to lose it all. Perhaps you are offered a chance at everything you could ever want, but at what cost? The Gambler is not known to many, and those who stumble into his dark temptation are trapped until they can beat him at his own vile game. That's fun. I like that. Animated diver suit. So, this is what I was saying earlier. We actually have this coming in the form of a miniature at some point later. I'll be looking at the miniatures at the end of this video. Oh, I love the boulder crab. Brain jellyfish. Yep. Makes sense, obviously, because jellyfish don't normally have brains. But they are still terrifying. How much more terrifying would they be if they did have a brain? For many years, to me, a cuttlefish wasn't a real animal. It was something that you bought for birds and stuck them in the cage. The fact that they were actually a thing that was real life never really occurred to me until I was in my 30s, which is really sad. Oh, that is cool. Oh, I love that. Almost like the souls reaching up from Hades' pit to draw you in. I like that. Anglerfish. You gotta have an anglerfish. I mean, this is one of the most terrifying creatures known to man, right? So it's a grab. So it's a shell with a hand. That's cool. A fiery. Oh, I like that. Is that... I'm guessing it's undead, right? Oh, no, it's a fiend. Haunted barracuda. We also have one of these. Oh, we have a barracuda anyway. We also have one of those in miniature form. Cannibal mounds. Oh, that's all kinds of creepy. Privateers, privateer captains, sea dragon, the sea holder. We also have a miniature of this that's going to be coming as well. So as far as the rules is concerned, like, this is something that looks really, really nice. Obviously, this is something that was helped back via Kickstarter. This has been delivered at this point. This is a product that you can buy, hence why we're having a look at it. +150 pages. Seriously. Like, the book is deep. It builds an entire world out very, very, very effectively. And this is something that you have to do if you're going to build a world rather than just a campaign setting in a random area. You need to build your background and your lore and the religions and so on and so. It's very, very important. And Michael's done an incredible job here. The sculpts are awesome. The only problems that I had with these were caused because of temperatures that I was experiencing at the time. I work full-time. This is not something we make money from. I work full-time. All of my printing was having to be done overnight. And as a result of that, we were dropping to 1 or 2 degrees Celsius at times during the night. And it's caused a couple of issues, which is fine. I still think that despite that... Oh, and also... I broke the guy. He actually has like a little antenna thing that comes off here, and I accidentally broke him. So why did I show it anyway? Honestly, I wanted to show, and I'm being genuine here, I wanted to show how easy it is to do stuff like this. Honestly, like, each of these miniatures that I painted up, I spent maybe 20 minutes at the most. Probably 15 in others. I really didn't spend a lot of time on these. I did it quick. I did it nasty. I just did it enough so that you could see on camera what the sculpt is a lot better than what the grey will show up on camera. Because that's it. And honestly, not everything needs to be painted to a display level. Now, obviously, yes, this would look a lot better if it had highlights everywhere. Of course it would. And this one in particular is probably going to be getting some highlights at one point. I want to do a follow-up video on this, genuinely, because I am very, very impressed. This has been a first impressions more than anything else. And my first impressions are extremely positive. It's a 150-page book with a lot of depth. There's a lot that you can draw from in this. There's 2 character classes that, at least at first glance, look very fun to play. There's a lot of depth of character there that you can draw from. And nothing really screams broken at me. At least not to begin with. I want to look at those 2 classes in particular in more depth. I'd also like to have a look through the monsters and actually pick out a few and look at them in more detail. If there's anything in particular that you would like me to look at more depth, let me know. I'm going to leave it maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I release that video, and to try to give people time, because we don't get a lot of comments. I would love to have some comments on this. The guy deserves it. There will be a link in the description. There is no referral. There is no kickback that we get. It's just to let you know where it is. Honestly, if you're looking for more content for your Dungeons and Dragons, get yourself a copy, whether it's digital or physical. Support a small creator. Honestly, I think this guy has more than earned your money at this point. Get this. It's worth it.